So it is true, tariffs are coming to Mexico, Canada, and China. Now, this isn't going to be a political video. This is literally just going to go off of what vehicles, specifically performance enthusiast vehicles, and then we'll go into some other vehicles as well, what vehicles are going to be affected by the tariff, which will end up increasing prices for the American consumer. Because that's what's just going to happen. There's nothing political about it. Tariffs are going to go up, so the prices are going to go up. And you guys are probably wondering, well, what vehicles are we going to see from Mexico and Canada potentially go up in price by a maximum of 25%? But in today's video, we'll just look at 10% and see how much that actually affects it. Hey guys, real quick, I do want to say that I have launched my memberships for the channel. There are 3 tiers: Enthusiast, Weekend Driver, and Mexico Racer. There is a video going in depth of what they will do. I'm actually providing a service to you guys when it comes to Weekend Driver and Mexico Racer, so make sure you check it out. And if you ever wanted real carbon fiber parts, I do have a promo code with carbon add-ons. Whether you have a Chevy, a Dodge, or a Mustang, a Ford, you can get real carbon fiber parts and save 5% off even on the discounted stuff using code FitCityGarage5, or use the link in the description of this video down below. So thanks for checking it out, and let's get on with the video. It's a hot topic in the political world, but let's talk about it at face value and keep the politics out of it. We're just going to talk numbers and vehicles that will be affected by the tariffs. So right off the rip, we're looking at the BMW 2 Series, as you can see in the top right hand corner here. That comes from Mexico. The BMW M2 Coupe, which is the cheapest route to get into an S58 engine. And then the BMW 3 Series sedan. Now, I do want to go back to the M2. When I mean by cheapest, I mean MSRP, like brand new, not used. There are cheaper ways to get into an S58 engine in the used market, but we're strictly talking MSRP. Now, we'll go further into detail on the BMWs because these are the performance vehicles. Let's just quickly go over the other vehicles as well so you guys have a general idea of what you can see rise in price. So from the Ford side, you're looking at the Ford Bronco Sport, the Ford Maverick, and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Now, I know a lot of performance enthusiasts are going to be glad to see that the Ford Mustang Mach-E is going to be increasing in price because, quite frankly, Ford loses money every time they build these and sell them. That is right. And let's not forget, refresher here, the Mustang Mach-E sold more than the EcoBoost, Mustang GT, and Mustang Dark Horse combined last year because the Mustang had the worst sales in the history of the company. Chevy, so the Blazer from Mexico, the Blazer EV from Mexico, the Equinox from Mexico, the Equinox EV from Mexico in the GMC Terrain. The Blazer is a decent vehicle. It's a decent vehicle. I don't know a lot about it to really speak on it, but it seems like a pretty decent vehicle, somewhat reliable. It's a pretty nice SUV in my opinion for the price range. Then we're looking at Honda, because Honda is affected by this. Honda CR-V Hybrid from Canada. Honda Civic Sedan. That's pretty big. I mean, because those are affordable right now. So if they increase just by a factor of 10%, let's say it's $28,000, it would go up $2,800. So from $28,000 to $30,800. Now that doesn't seem like a crazy increase necessarily, but obviously as MSRPs get higher, a 10% raise is even more. Now if you do a 25% raise, that's huge, right? That's huge. That's a big jump. Honda HR-V and the Honda Prologue. Then we take a look at Kia, just the Kia Forte. Interesting. Mercedes, just the Mercedes-Benz GLB. Honestly, I've never seen a single one of these. From Nissan, this is what kind of stinks because we already know Nissan is on the verge of bankruptcy. First of all, the Infiniti QX50 and 55, then the Nissan Sentra, Kicks, and Versa. That's not good. At least for Nissan, it's not good, right? Stellantis. So the Ram 2500 to 5500 in Mexico, the Ram ProMaster, Jeep Compass, and unfortunately the only vehicle in the Chrysler lineup right now, the Chrysler Pacifica. I don't know if Chrysler is going to be able to survive this. They have cars coming in the pipeline. They are getting more funding now that Carlos Tavares is gone. But man, that is tough. Toyota does not scathe by. Toyota Tacoma, which is already getting more and more expensive. The RAV and RAV4 Hybrid, which is one of their best-selling vehicles. And then the Lexus NX and the Lexus RX. Mexico, Canada, and Canada. And then finally, we got the Volkswagen Group. So Audi Q5 and SQ5. SQ5 is a nice vehicle. The Jetta, the Taos, and the Tiguan. All from Mexico. So, yeah. We can't really speculate how much of the percentage is going to be passed on the consumer, because it's not like the entire vehicle, all the parts, the whole 9 yards is being increased by 25%. So it's not like the entire vehicle is going to increase by 25% as far as parts go. But the problem lies is when they get imported into the United States, the entire package gets increased by 25%. So there is a good chance, depending on the profit margins of these vehicles, if they have a lot of meat on the bone, they might take, they might take some meat off, right? They'll be like, okay, if we can't make 20% because of this 25%, we'll make 10. It's fine. We'll figure it out one way or another to save costs. And then, but other vehicles might not have that kind of meat on the bone to where they will have to pass the full 25% onto the consumer. And that is huge. I just went over that Honda example. Let's go over the BMWs. So since this is more of a car enthusiast channel, let's go over the car enthusiast cars that are most affected. And it's the BMW, the 2 Series. So you've got the 2 Series Coupe, the 2 Series Grand Coupe, and then you've got the M2. Let's actually go over my car, right? So if we go over to my car, I've got the M240i xDrive Coupe, and it starts at $52,600. So if you just take 10%, I'm going to use the 10% example because it just makes a little bit more sense for you to see how much these vehicles would be increasing in MSRP. So 10% is $5,260. I mean, that raises it to 57, almost 58, right? 58K, right? Man, that's just 10%, not even 25% if it ever happens. Like, these cars would end up being, cars are already really hard to afford. Brand new right now, today, are very hard to afford because of interest rates and price. Really slapping 25% on any of these cars makes them not desirable at all. But that right now, as it sits, the M240i xDrive Coupe is a fantastic car for the money. It's better than a lot of vehicles, honestly. And I'm not just saying that because I own one. I'm saying that because of everything that car provides, all the options you can option out with, and still be under $60,000 MSRP. The all-wheel drive system is fantastic. You can tune the vehicle. This car can do sub 3 second 0 to 60 very easily with not a lot of money. It's just an all-around fun car. So it would suck tremendously for people wanting to try something new. Maybe want to try an all-wheel drive performance vehicle. This is definitely the one to get for the price range, in my opinion. Brand new, that is. And to tinker around with one, because you can fully customize it inside and out and tune it. But if we go back to the other cars, for example, go back to the 2 Series and look at the M2, like I said, this is the cheapest way into an S58 engine. And if, let me see here, do we have the price? We might have to build one. Okay, let's build one, right? Because I can show you the MSRP. So just white, no options whatsoever, $65,500. 10% makes this $72,000, right? So yeah, it'll be $72,050 at 10. And that's just at 10%. I got my calculator out here. What if we do 65,000 plus 25%? Guys, it's an $81,250 car. This can't happen. This is crazy, because the thing that is unfortunate is BMW's come out with an all-wheel drive version of this car, and it's still going to be the cheapest S58 engine all-wheel drive car you could get into, and it'll probably go up by about 8 to 10 grand. It'll go up by about 8 to 10 grand. It's still a little expensive, and I'm not saying this is a cheap car by any means right now, but it's the cheapest way to get in that powerful vehicle. And if you like all the options here and you just want to do one add-on for colors, you still have a very capable and cool vehicle, and you just got a different color. I do like this Java Green Metallic. That is awesome. So it's not looking good if you want a performance BMW, the 2 Series. And I didn't even get into the 3 Series. So let's actually go ahead and do that, right? Cancel. Oh, nope. We want to start over, don't we? So if you look at the 3 Series, the 3 Series is the sedans, right? So let's go ahead and select the sedans. Even the cheapest starting MSRP is $45,950, right? And it's a 4-cylinder engine. But the thing is I'll be honest, I don't know much about the 4-cylinder engines. This 6-cylinder engines, the B58TU engines, are some of the best engines ever made, ever, right? Same with the S58, but I guess I didn't explain that, but that's kind of a given. But the M40i sedan, the all-wheel drive, or even the rear is okay. They're very capable vehicles. It's the same power plant that's in the M240i, but now you've got 4 doors. They're very capable vehicles. Now, it didn't mention the M3s at all, so I imagine the M3s are made somewhere else, but the M340i's and the 330i's, these are coming out of Mexico. And yeah, look, 62,200 bucks. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more than the M240i. It's a bigger vehicle. There's more in it. It's just going to cost more, right, to make. So the MSRP is going to be higher. But it is a fantastic 4-door car to get into if you want a performance 4-door car. And you can get some solid deals on some used ones too. But if you want to buy a brand new one, this is a very good 4-door vehicle, all-wheel drive, capable engine, can modify. You know, you can tune it. You can do exterior mods, interior mods, you name it, right? Fully customizable in the aftermarket. So it's not. It just. I hope something's figured out here, because here's the problem, and again, no politics. That's all we care about, the number stuff. Because this is happening. There's nothing we can do about it. So we need to talk about it. So the thing that sucks though is this isn't easily reversible, at least not within the next 4 years. And the thing is there are going to be systems put in place by these companies that are going to continue probably for years to come. I don't know about a lot of benefits necessarily to that they could do to cut the costs other than make things cheaper, but that doesn't help anyone out. Look at Stellantis. Look at the Dodge Demon 170s, the spark plugs. I just had a video about that. Carlos Tavares went cheap on the spark plugs, and now they're blowing up engines, or they just need to be replaced altogether because the power output isn't there. Because he went cheap on the damn spark plugs. Are you freaking kidding me? So going cheap doesn't solve any problems when there's no problems to begin with the vehicles that you make, because the BMWs now, today, are very reliable with their engines and their drivetrains. So that used to be a problem with BMWs in the past, but not so much anymore. They've cleaned up their act. If they're going to be forced to go cheap again, or even the other cars that I mentioned on the list earlier, if they go even cheaper, the things are just going to fall apart. So I'm curious to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How do you see this playing out? Obviously, it's not a lot of cars on the list. It's not. So there is a niche amount, but some of the most fun BMW cars are on that list, which is unfortunate. And we'll just have to see how that plays out overall across the entire car market, because it might end up affecting the entire car market, honestly. So we'll just have to see what happens. Hopefully no American companies need any buyouts. That would be a nightmare, and they probably won't get bought out. So that will cause a ginormous recession, because a lot of jobs are in that sector. But again, just let me know what you guys think. Numbers to numbers. I don't want to hear politics, just numbers, because it's happening. This is what we have to deal with. This is what we're going to have to wait and see what happens. It's a numbers game. Leave the politics out of it, right? It's happening. Nothing you can do about it. It's all about numbers. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if this was informative or kind of open your eyes a little bit on what's to come. Maybe some of these cars you were interested in. You can start crunching numbers now to see what you might expect to pay for, and then cross-shop it with cars that are cheaper, right? It's a good idea. So you might want to do that. And yeah, smash the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.